it comes down to such basic things as warm calls, notes, handwritten notes, and we do pop-bys every month.
This is Stay Paid, the marketing podcast that gives listeners a competitive edge to stay motivated, find inspiration, and discover proven real-world tactics from some of the best marketers across the nation.
Welcome to another episode of Stay Paid. I'm Joshua Stike along with Luke Acree, and our guest today is Stacy Allwein. Stacy is a top producing realtor and team leader at the Allwein team at Real and ranked in the top 100 realtors for the DC metro market. With over 20 years of experience in buying, selling, and investing in real estate, Stacy is relationship focused first and foremost. So much so that her and her team produced $57 million in sales, with the majority of those clients being repeat transactions and referrals. Stacy, welcome to Stay Paid. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I am so glad to be here.
Stacy, it is amazing to have you. I got to meet you at an event, and I remember coming off stage speaking there, and we connected, and you were like, hey, everything you are preaching about relationships, I've lived. And I'm like, okay, we got to interview you on our podcast, because when you find true practitioners, like Josh and I are marketing, we say this all the time. So we're out here teaching it, right, preaching it, but we're not the true practitioners. You're the true practitioner that has been living and breathing this idea of relationship marketing, relationships over transactions, focusing on referrals. Would love for you to share, what made you go this route of relationships? When you look at your business today, why do you believe it's relationships? Why do you believe it's referrals? Why not lead gen on Zillow, Facebook ads? Like, what's your thought there?
So I kind of made this decision years ago, and I can bring it right back to 2010. I got in the market in 2008. It wasn't a great time to get into real estate. And I learned, what am I doing here? And you had to do a lot more than put a sign in the yard and sell a house. And from 2008 to 2010, I was like, what am I doing? And I'm gonna throw this all up to the Brian Buffini coaching company, because I saw him locally just at a conference, and I heard him talking about doing your business by referral. And I was like, I can do that. I can't go knock on people's doors, and I can't cold call. That's not me, but I am a relationship person. And back, that many years ago, I made that decision, and it just all resonated with me.
So when you think about nurturing your relationships, right? Because everybody wants to get more referrals. How do you think about your database and how you nurture it? How have you generated, I think you said 57 million, right? What produces that number of referrals, repeat business? What marketing campaigns are you doing to them?
So it's so simple. And I try to tell that to my agents on my team or new agents that I'm bringing on. I mean, yeah, we work really hard, but it comes down to such basic things as warm calls, notes, handwritten notes, and we do pop-bys every month. And of course, there's other things. We do client events that are very, very successful. We're very well known in our community. We live in a big community, but we've made it small. It's a great community to live in, and we're very well known here. People will say oh, we know the Allwein team. Oh, we know Stacy, and I walked into Staples yesterday. And I was walking in, and some lady was walking out, and she's like, Stacy. And I was like, hi. And then I had to say, I know you. But that's the kind of thing that, we have built. And that's what works for us.
Talk about the actual process of the pop-by, because I know we did a webinar recently where someone mentioned, these pop-bys that they do that really contributed to their success, and the number of people that chatted in and were like, how do you do it? What do you do? Yeah. I think a lot of people don't do the pop-by because they don't know what to expect. How are you coaching your agents, or how have you found success in actually doing the pop-by? Is it the same way every time? Are you calling, texting ahead of time? How does it work?
So, I think there's always improvement to be made, but I think consistency is the biggest thing. So, we do them every single month. We have a team manager who's kind of the heart and soul of our team. And Fatima, we go through and figure out what we're going to do for the year. We might kind of adjust it as we go along, but she has them ready for us, and we religiously, get those done. So we individually, each agent decides, who are we going to send them to. So for Mother's Day, our pop-bys were mimosas. So it was a little bottle of champagne, a little bottle of orange juice with some cute little tag of, for Mother's Day. So we picked, I picked my 20 people that I was going to go see. So, I would stop by their house. I don't text and tell them I'm coming. Once in a while I might, but, not typically. So, Mother's Day mimosa is really easy to give on the Saturday before Friday before
no one's turning that
Mother's
down.
Day. Nobody's turning it down. And so, it's really easy just to leave my car running, knock on the door. Hey, happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a great weekend. And then people are like putting that on social media. And then other people are like, hey, wait, I didn't get one. Like, so we get that kind of like thing going. And people really like that.
Are you doing 20 different people a month? Like, is it 20 different people every month? Is that how you're sort of?
Yeah, it's different people every month. And then the one thing I do if somebody's not home is I always take a picture of it, text them, and I'm like, hey, so sorry I missed you. Hope you had a great Mother's Day.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And I'm just using, Mother's Day as an example. Some of our really cool ones too. And people are doing the same one. So I'll say they're really cool. But, in St. Patrick's Day, we do like the scratch off lottery tickets, but we don't just like hand them a lottery ticket. We have it made up in a cute little cello bag with candy and that kind of thing. We just try to do stuff. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's just a matter of them knowing that you care about them and that you're reaching out to them.
When you have the combo, do you ask for referrals ever in those combos, or do you keep it strictly about the gift? Like, how do you go about that?
So, the ideal thing is to, be able to see them face to face. And if you sold them a house, how's your house? How's it going? What are you thinking? Like, are you planning to stay here? Have that brief conversation. And definitely, like, if you know anybody that's looking, don't believe everything that you hear in the market, have those kind of conversations. Let me know if I can help anybody. So, yes, that's the perfect pop-by. Is it always perfect? No. If you're texting, definitely, say, hey, if there's anybody I can help, or if you guys, are thinking about selling, do you know what your value of your home is? All those things that we all are supposed to be doing every single day. Try to slip those in.
What about your warm calls? You mentioned that as one. Do you have a particular cadence for that, or how do you approach those phone calls? I
don't have like a specific like script or anything like that, but I just try to, so based on my business and what I need to do, I need to do 10 calls a week. I need to do, which doesn't sound like a lot.
It's a lot more than what most people are doing. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying I always do them, but I'm saying I'm supposed to do 10 calls a week.
Oh, there
and
we
I
go.
Try. So 10 calls, 10 calls a week, 10 notes a week, and 20 pop-bys a month. So that's really attainable. So, just calling people, calling friends, calling past clients. I feel like my past clients are my friends. Half of them are like my neighbors, or I've lived in the same community with 3 different houses for 30 some years. So it's so easy to reach out and call people, and it doesn't really matter what you're calling them about. I could just be calling, hey, Luke, how you doing? How's the baby doing? That kind of thing. And then, lead it. People want to know about real estate. So you talk to them. And then hopefully you're also calling people that have mentioned, hey, I might want to sell my house this year. And so those are the best warm calls that you can make. I'm also really involved in community and giving back. I'm on the board of a recovery high school.
Okay.
So it's easy when you are involved and you can, call those people too. And then you become I feel like I'm their local real estate expert as well. That's not why I do those things, but there's just so many different reasons to call people.
Yeah, it's so good. It reminds me of, there's a couple new agents that I've been interacting with and giving advice to. And the one that's had the most success, he's closed like 3 deals in 45 days. He just got in. But it is so similar to what you're saying. Like, he set a goal to do a cup of coffee or lunch with a person in his sphere every single day. And
wow, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. And he called all of his friends, all his sphere, just to get coffee with them. Mm-hmm. Then he started a dad's group because he has like 4 young kids. And so he started this dad's group where he gets dads together once a month to do like throwing axes, stuff like that. And he started this like dads give back type group. And it's just like, so it's so similar. And you would think, oh man, what is the difference between him and the other people that I've been interacting with? It's just the relationship. Like he just has had coffee, had lunches with so many people. He has invited everybody in his sphere to his dad's group. And, you know, he's getting 15 to 20 people to show up to that a month now. And so it's like giving back in that way, focus on the relationship seems simple, but it is the most powerful. It is the absolute
It is, and
most
then
powerful.
the business will come.
Yep.
If you don't focus on, I mean, that's my opinion. If you don't focus on, I have to get this deal, I have to get this deal, you focus on building all these relationships. And the same thing with my team. And like, so my son works on my team. Michael's 28. He got in the business when he was 19. And I mean, we wouldn't sell $57 million for any of the years that we've had. I mean, it was me and him pretty much doing that. And he is all about, like, he's young, with all these young first-time buyers. My daughter's a little bit older than him. She's not a realtor, she's a teacher, but all her friends. And it's like people just gravitate to him because they see what he's doing on social media. He's got 3 kids. He's got a little farmette. They see the different things he's doing, and they're like, "Wow, he's really real. He's doing all this, and he responds to me." And that's what people want. They want to see people that are welcoming to them. They feel like they can trust them. And, we have one of our client events, we have at his property. He has a few acres with animals, and we had like a mobile axe throwing there.
Oh,
and
nice.
It was really cool. And it's always kid friendly. And so, people want to come, and they don't have to be clients. It's people that have referred us and neighbors, and they're always big, huge events.
How many people do you normally have like at an event, and how much does an event like cost? Do you get sponsors to like throwing an event seems like a huge ordeal, but Josh and I have seen and mentioned it multiple times on the show that all top producers are throwing events.
Yeah. So we try to do like 3 a year. This year's been like an odd year for us, but so we typically, like last year we did, like around this time, we did the axe throwing event at his house, and then had the food truck, which did like it was grilled cheese please or something. Nice. So they did all different kinds of grilled cheese and ice cream and everything. And so that one wasn't as expensive. We didn't have to pay for a venue. We always had one at his house, but we paid for a tent and chairs and the food and the axe throwing. Probably cost us about $3,000, $2,500, $3,000. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, not
great
bad.
turnout, and great turnout. So worth it. We probably had, when I say a great turnout, it was right before school started. We probably had 100 people.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I think that was good for just a weeknight kind of thing.
And how many did you invite? Like, how many invites do you send out?
We probably invited like 200 people.
That's awesome.
225,
Cool.
Something like that. Our big event every year that we never miss is our pie party. And I know every realtor has a pie party, but I really think our pie party is off the charts. I think no matter where we do it or what we do, I always think the day of, nobody's going to show up. And every year it gets bigger and bigger.
That's amazing.
So no matter where we have it, it's awesome. And I think we've narrowed it down that we used to do it on a Saturday, we switched it to a Sunday. We have to have TVs. It has to be when football's on. We have done it from a restaurant to a golf club. And we just have beer and wine and appetizers, and it's 3 hours, and people come early and they stay late. And we always do like a Toys for Tots. People bring that. Everybody goes home with pumpkin pie.
I love that.
But people come because they like want to see the people that they know. They want to see people that they met the year before, or their neighbors, or like, they start asking us now, like, when's the party? Are you having your party? It's become a thing every year.
Yeah.
I need to find a realtor that will invite me to a pie party.
Yeah, seriously.
I've never been invited to a pie party.
And that one, we always have close to 200 people.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Easy. And it just depends, it's hard. It's right before Thanksgiving, but people are like, I need my pie for our family Thanksgiving. Like we count on that pie. And sometimes we're like, hey, do you have an extra one? We always have extras. I'm like, take it.
That is so good.
It's our best event.
It builds so much reciprocity too. They feel just obligated to you in a great way. Like they want to give back to you because you've given so much to them. Yeah, it's just so amazing how client events are like the thing. Like, because we just are hearing it left and right all over the place. And I think it is because there's just nothing better to build the relationship, give so much value without taking, and now promote your brand. So talk just a little bit, because you mentioned bringing your son into the business. How is the dynamic of the family business, bringing your son in, that dynamic, and then how big is your team? I don't know if you mentioned that or not.
I don't think I did. So our team right now is 4, and we're adding another agent next week. So we'll be 5. Michael joined, like I said, when he was 19. College was not for him. He always, since in middle school, he was like, I'm going to be a realtor.
That's awesome.
But he went away to college for 4 days, and then he came home and went to community college for a year. And it just wasn't for him. He was always very entrepreneurial. That was his thing. And he got his license as soon as he was 18 and started the business, and was just really good at it. I mean, he just, some people are like, oh yeah, of course you're good at it because your mom's in it. And it's like, really, that I can't take credit for that. I can maybe take credit for, getting him into it and that kind of thing. But you have to have something in your heart. You have to really be a go-getter. And he absolutely has that. He, from the beginning, I mean, his first year or second year, he was like rookie of the year in our association. He was just named 40 under 40 for DC Maryland Real Producer. So I'm a little proud of him, but he works really hard. And, it's not always easy working for your mom. It's not always easy having your son work for you. But when it comes down to it, I think we do it pretty well. We work really well together. And we also, the dynamics for the rest of the team, I've always made sure that everybody knows that, just like when when my son would coach my kids, he was always hardest on them. I don't want anybody to ever think that, it's any different. Like he works harder than anybody, and it's pretty obvious. So
it's a key point.
Great.
It's a key point you made of like, we've seen this in salespeople. We've gone up and down, backwards and forwards of like, how do you hire the best people? And it really comes down to the heart of the person. Like that is what I'm learning more and more and more. There is obviously talent and intelligence and stuff like that, but a lot of those things like intelligence and skills can be learned for the most part, but the heart of somebody, their go-getting attitude, the passion, the hunger they have, the motivation, the drive, like that is it. Like, and he has it, right? And it's funny how it's like,
absolutely.
It's not even genetics. It's like he has it, because I come from a family of 8 kids, and there's a lot of people in my family, they're amazing, but they don't have that go-getter mentality. But then my other brother, he has it. Like, it's just weird how it's like some people have that go-getting mentality, that passion, that drive. Some people don't.
Yeah. And I think, like my daughter's a school teacher. And so my husband, he flipped houses, real estate investor. Michael, my son, a realtor, I'm a realtor. Poor Emily sit around, come over and visit. She's like, oh my gosh, like I can't stand it. Like she's the best school teacher in the world, but has no interest in, in like real estate or entrepreneurial kind of things. And, it's just, everybody's different. And that's why our world goes around, right? Because we're all different. But when I'm looking for agents as well, I'm looking for agents that, they might not have tons and tons of experience or volume sold, but if they have that drive and that willing to learn, like I really like to coach people up, and I would rather hire somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience that's willing to learn than somebody that's already established.
Spot on.
Talk about your geofarming strategy, because I know you're big on that, and obviously that's kind of community based as well. So how do you approach geographic farming?
So I mentioned a little while ago that I've lived in the same area for 30 some years. So one particular neighborhood that I raised my kids in until we moved like in 2019 is like my neighborhood. Like if another house goes on the neighborhood, in that neighborhood, it's like, it's me deep. Like how could somebody think of selling in that neighborhood without using me? So I definitely geofarm that particular neighborhood on a regular basis. They get a newsletter from me every month. I do handwritten notes to people in that neighborhood. I've done like Zoom calls like during COVID, like
Wow.
to like who wants to learn about what you need to do to get your house ready. And I had a great success with that. I really should do it again. Just target that neighborhood with postcards. That is my neighborhood that I geofarm. And that's my big area for geofarming. I would like to spread that out a little bit more because there are other parts of the area where I live that feel like I'm pretty well known, and I could take advantage of that. But it definitely works.
How many touch points a month to your farm do you do? 1, 2, how many?
So probably two.
Probably 2. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's what we have seen is that a lot of the successful people doing farming are doing about 2 touch points a month. Like every 2 weeks, they're in front of that. It's not always perfect like every 2 weeks, but it's, that general concept that we see people doing that. Are you ever out and about and do events for that community or no? Do you invite them to your events?
Yeah, so I do. I need to get better at that, but I'll always there's certain things like the 4th of July and Labor Day and Memorial Day. There's like a big circle in that neighborhood. Like we'd always put flags up.
Gotcha. Okay.
People are always out there, and I don't put my sign up or anything like that, but they're like, on their Facebook page, Stacy Allwein's at it again. Thank you for doing that. And I don't even live in that neighborhood where I live a couple miles from there. When we put signs up for weekend signs and everything, like I don't typically put my signs up in that neighborhood. I try to put my signs up, and if I'm out there like on a Friday, people are like beeping their horn or, and then I like to do just regular vertical videos in that neighborhood. I'll just go stand out there and be like, hey, I'm in Summerfield, and just talk about that.
Nice.
Also, the elementary school that serves that neighborhood is located right in the neighborhood. And we do a lot of things for the school. So like I just ran into the guidance counselor yesterday, and she's like, oh, it's almost time. Like we need water bottles. Like when it started with COVID, they weren't allowed to use the water fountains anymore.
Wow.
So we started ordering water fountains. We started ordering water bottles that had our name on them. And kids would come home. I would have clients call me and say, my kids said, hey, that's our realtor. That was so cool that you gave them water bottles.
That
we
is
sponsor
great.
their 5K. We do everything for the school, and it's right in the neighborhood. So we'll do videos for that. Like I really try to hit that neighborhood hard with a lot of different things.
That's brilliant. That's really
awesome.
good.
Love it. No, that's fantastic. I think you're very attuned to the needs of the community, and you're very focused on who you would like to work with, which all obviously have been a tremendous recipe for success. Stacy, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. Before we close out, let people know how they can connect with you.
So you can reach me at Stacy Allwein at Real Broker. My phone number is 301-606-6716. My email is stacy@allwineteam.com, and our website is allwineteam.com.
Awesome. There you go. Thank you all so much for listening. You can get all of those links and contact info that Stacy mentioned all in one place over at staypaidpodcast.com for the show notes of this episode. If you enjoyed this episode and want to share your support, head on over to Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star review along with a comment. We'll read it here on the show. And the best way to show your support is to share this episode with a friend. If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com, or you can find us on Instagram. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, I'm Luke Acree. Stacy, amazing. You did not disappoint. I didn't think you would, but amazing stuff. There's a reason why she's successful, everyone. And you can just hear it. You can see it in practice just in her talking. Very consistent in what she's doing. And my action item for you guys, I have 2 challenges. You don't have to choose both. It'd be great if you chose both, but choose one of them. One challenge is pick your 20 people this month and go pop by their house. Do something nice for them. Pop by their house, catch up with them. That's one challenge. Either do that one, or challenge number 2, plan your own pie event. We got Thanksgiving right around the corner. Do your own pie event. My brother does a pie event. He got like 69 5-star reviews just from his pie event, let alone all the goodwill and the relationships and the deals that came from it. do your own pie event. You're missing out if you don't. So take advantage. If you're a superstar, do both challenges. But if you're, mediocre, just do one of the challenges, right? But the difference between top producers and mediocre producers in all industries is top producers actually take action. So take action on that today.